Hi, it's been a few days since my last vlog. I kinda didn't have much to say. I managed to get sick and I didn't really feel like vlogging. I'm better now. I felt already a bit better on Sunday and felt actually good enough to go outside and fly my new Mavic Air. Uh, from the perspective of flying this is with the next down, or it should be. From the perspective of flying this drone, I absolutely love it. I haven't been able to try out 4K resolution recording yet, but even the full HD stuff looks quite awesome. With one problem on mine. The the camera seems to have some dust between the sensor and the lens, and it doesn't seem to be anything that I can fix myself. You can see some footage of the session on Sunday if you look at my drone footage videos. So, I didn't just want to show off my new toy today. I actually wanted to say something that has been bothering me for a while. I'm not only making videos on YouTube, I also spend some time watching videos on YouTube, and especially videos that are related to drones. And not only lately, for a while I've seen videos pop up that have titles like "Crazy person attacks me while flying my drone," or "Crazy person hates drones," or "Drone haters, drone hater calls police," and so on. There's a lot of videos like that, make no mistake. I'm not going to link any of those, as I don't think they should have the views that they do. Now, some of you probably think that the drone pilots who film this and put it online are in the right, that people who hate drones are stupid, or that it is stupid to hate on drones. And as a drone pilot myself, and someone who likes drones and enjoys drones, I can understand that idea. But there's two things that drone pilots, especially those who make those kind of videos, do not seem to realize. One, we are using a technology that is relatively new. That is, when people talk about it in their brains, through the way how drones have entered our lives first, connected to the military and to spy work. The first things most people have heard of drones is the drones that militaries worldwide use to spy on their opponents and to strike against them. So, if there is someone who is suspicious about drones flying around him, then that might be simply because the word drone already has a negative association for that person, and that's not crazy. And then there is the other aspect. There is a human right called privacy. If you don't believe it's a human right, just look it up. In the UN Charter for Human Rights, there is an article about privacy. That means privacy means that we all have our right to privacy, to be left alone in a way. Now, if you fly around with your drone, just the way I like to do it, then usually you have a camera on board and you are recording. You're recording what your drone sees. Well, at least I am, otherwise I couldn't put the stuff on YouTube, right? So a lot of people know that part, or get to understand that part, and then they wonder why there's a drone flying close to their house, to their garden, or even if they are out in public and walking somewhere, a drone that follows them might be suspicious. Not in all countries, but in countries like Germany, where I'm from originally, you have rights on your own image, which means people can't just take images from you and and use that for whatever they want. You have to agree on them taking the image, and you can ask them to delete an image if they take it. And that's part of protecting the privacy of those people. And I'm a big fan of that. I believe that people should have a choice if someone takes a picture of them and puts it online. And those laws usually are in a way that if you put someone in the focus of a picture, then that's seen as taking a picture of them. While if you take a photo, for example, of a landscape and there's someone who's their back to the camera, and this is not seen as taking a picture of them, and that's completely okay. Or if you have thousands of people, then the focus is not on one special or two special persons, then that's okay too. And a lot of times when we fly our drones, we're not going to have someone specifically in focus. On the other hand, I've seen drone pilots try out modes like follow, active track, which are modes that the Mavic Air, for example, has. Just try them out at random people. So I have seen people who take their drone and just set them to follow someone. And in that case, you cannot make the case that you're not taking the photo of that person without their permission. You are violating their privacy. And there has been press about that. So if people see a drone flying around in a park, on the street, then this is one of the things they will think about. And rightfully so. There is no reason why they should not think about stuff like that. And that's the thing. We, as the users of this technology, have to be responsible. We have to be responsible in what we do with the technology, which means if we do stuff like filming people this way, on doing it the right way, asking people first, or make sure that it is in a legal manner, and not only legal, but also in a manner that people can be comfortable with that. And if there is someone seeing you fly your drone, you should maybe think about doing what I do. If I look at some of those videos I was mentioning, the drone pilots react quite strongly to people who are just standing there watching sometimes, or who actually make a complaint about something, or just ask a question. They react quite often relatively aggressively, pissing the other person off. So, for example, there might be a person that comes there, and let's use a real life example. I was filming in Karlsruhe, Germany, with a friend of mine. We were just recording some sunset, and while the drone was up there, a lady with a small dog walks in our direction, and while not having reached us yet, but in range, she says something like, "Oh, is that a spy drone? Are you spying?" And if one of the persons in the video would have said that, and a lot of the drone pilots from those videos would have told her to fuck off or something like that. And that's not the right way to react to that. What I did in that situation, and what I would suggest every one of you do, is I told her, "No, I'm shooting sunsets here. Just come over, see how beautiful this is," and showed her my display so she could live see what am I doing with this drone. Because I was flying quite close to a few houses. I was shooting over the roofs of those houses. But I did show her what I was recording. I told her a bit about the possibilities. I actually landed the drone and showed her a few of the pictures that I had taken on other locations. And she got quite interested. Same last Sunday when I was shooting those nice winter images, when I was basically doing the maiden flight of the Mavic Air. Some man walked up and he watched me and he looked a bit skeptical, and I just gave him a nod, and I think that confused him a bit. I guess it's not a Finnish thing to do. But I then brought down my drone and landed it to give him a chance to, well, approach and say whatever he wanted to say, or look, or whatever. Just because I had the feeling that keeping the drone up there in that moment might not be the right way. Because, yeah, he looked a bit skeptical, and once I had the drone landed, and I turned to him, and he started with, "Oh, does that drone have a camera?" I was like, "Yes, it's basically a flying camera." And then I turned around and pointed at the border between the ice and the water, which is basically what I had made a few photos of. And I was like, I saw this beautiful scenery here, where the stream slows down, which allows in the lake the ice to create. That makes for very, very nice shots, and I'm filming this for my YouTube channel. And he was like, "Oh, that's very interesting. So you are a photographer?" And I'm like, "I'm not really a photographer. I'm a hobby YouTuber." And he was like, "Oh, that's interesting. So what can this drone do? Can this fly high?" And I was like, "Sure, you can fly actually quite high with it. It is rated to up to, I think, 5,000 meters. But you're not allowed to fly that high by the law. The law here in Finland says you can fly up to 150 meters, and in the area where I was flying in that moment, you can maximum fly up to 50 meters. And here," and I showed him the display, "I can set a limit that limits it to this level, so I cannot go above it." And he was like, "Oh, that's a nice safety feature. So what happens if you fly out? Can it automatically return to home?" And I was like, "Yes, indeed. If I lose the connection." And so I want to retell the whole conversation, but in the end, he ended up getting he ended up asking all of the questions he had about the drone. He ended up getting kind of rid of all the what do you want to call it? All the concerns he had about the safety. And I think, judging from him asking me for the price, he even started thinking about getting into this himself. Maybe I misjudged his skepsis at the start. But the thing is that I think if I would have reacted like some of the drone pilots in those "Ooh, the evil drone hater" videos, I don't think I would have created this positive atmosphere, and I don't think this would have went this way. I think this might have gone in the same direction and in the same style like those videos are, where people get very loud, get very aggressive, get pissed off, and where people afterwards ask to regulate drones more and to forbid to fly them in public places. And in the end, that is what we don't want. That's what we drone pilots do not want. We do not want to have our hobby forbidden or restricted to just very, very hidden places or anything like that. What we want is that people see us and realize that we are just capturing very, very beautiful things, or that we are following a very nice hobby, even if that's drone racing, which is not about the photography. It's also it's a very nice hobby, and we want to be recognized for that, and we want to appear responsible. We want to be responsible, so people will allow us to fly where we feel like flying, where we can capture the real beauty of the planet we live on, where we can show the action, where we can film without people feeling bad about being filmed, or where we can race just for the fun of racing without having to find the weirdest and most far away from civilization places to do so. So if you are a new drone pilot, if you're a drone pilot, if you feel like somebody is watching you, or if people approach you with a weird question, or even if people approach you, this sometimes happens, people come to you and say something like, "You're not allowed to fly here." And don't react stupidly, don't be the asshole who's like, "Yes I am, you don't know anything, you fucking idiot." I've seen that in those videos. Be the one who's, "Oh, I've checked if I'm allowed to fly here, I have this app, can you elaborate on why you believe I'm wrong?" And listen to them. Maybe they know something about the place that you don't. And try to be that person that is actually taking it serious and that takes care of it. And we all will have a lot more fun in our hobby. Well, I think that's enough on the subject. I think I got across what I wanted to say. And that's basically, if you believe that there are so many drone haters out there, just think about if you're not the asshole. That said, I hope you have a fantastic week, and see you soon.